Hey, Alison.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Good to be back.
We missed you.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to bring the same enthusiastic and astounded energy that I always do. And I've got a question for you, Alison.
What's
What
that
is,
one?
what is the biggest thing you can think of?
Don't know, planet Earth? That's big.
That's pretty big. You know that the planet Earth revolves around the sun, and the sun revolves
Oh,
around
that's
the core.
bigger.
Yeah, and the sun revolves around the core of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is revolving around something. And what is that it's revolving around? That thing is called the Great Attractor. We don't exactly know what it is, but it's got to be pretty big for everything to revolve around it.
That's the world's biggest thing. Well, the universe's biggest thing.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe there's something that's revolving around as well. But
this is very much for me this morning.
I know. This week in Q, meanwhile, is revolving around the concept of big versus small. We've got lots of cool big and small cards, big things, small things. And we're going to talk about some of them today. We're going to talk about the Lighthouse of Alexandria.
Oh, the Ise Grand Shrine. The Ise Grand Shrine.
Themis.
The Least Weasel.
The Tarantula Nebula.
And the Bee Hummingbirds.
Awesome. Let's talk about the Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the seven wonders of the world. Actually, I don't know anything about the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Let's talk about something big first of all. Let's talk about the Lighthouse of Alexandria, which was so big it was over 110 meters tall, which in ancient building terms is pretty huge. And it survived for 1,500 years. Survived even, the great destructive events that would have taken down the Library of Alexandria. Built in the year 280 BC during the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus. In Q, the Lighthouse of Alexandria is going to give your ancient Egypt cards a whole bunch of extra power if your deck contains some Egyptian mythology cards, and it's going to reduce their cost as well. Okay, I'd like you to tell me about the Ise Grand Shrine.
Okay, so the Ise Grand Shrine is this Japanese shrine that's been built, I don't know how many times, but it gets rebuilt every 20 years, like completely, totally rebuilt because of the whole, like the Shinto belief in life and resurrection. It's sort of replicating that. So every 20 years, destroys it, brings it back. And I think it costs the Japanese government something like, I can't remember the number exactly, but something like $500 million or something a year. Like it costs a really massive amount. But yeah, every time they do it, yeah, the whole thing redone. So that's a feudal Japan boost in the game. So that's one that gives your feudal Japan cards 10 plus power, and it makes them cost -1 energy until the end of the game.
That's absolutely fascinating. So they just destroy it and they rebuild it every time.
Yeah, exactly, every 20 years, and it's been like that for like millennia.
Do you think do you think they sort of cut corners so they don't have to like?
They're like maybe they're like
these days it's flat pack.
It's like, well, what's the point in making it strong? It's going 20 years anyway. It's all IKEA now.
No, that's very cool and very dedicated. I like
Indeed,
that a lot.
it's incredibly impressive. So Dan, this is a card that I think a few people have wanted for a while. Do you want to tell me about the Themis card that's coming out?
Sure. Themis is the Greek goddess of justice, wisdom, and good counsel. She
got a lot going for her.
She's got a lot going for her. You'll see her on top of courts. She obviously wears her blindfold because justice is blind, obviously. And in Q, she's going to give a energy reduction to pirates and Legends of the Old West kind of outlaw collections. Yeah,
I like what she's got going there.
Yeah, people have been after a Themis card for a while. She's very popular. And hopefully putting her in your deck will tip the scales of victory in your favor. This isn't a great analogy.
No, I like that. No, go for it.
Abort the analogy.
Well, I love that analogy, sincerely, Dan. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Next up, I'd like you to tell me about the least weasel. Is it the weasel with the most, or the? Hang on a minute.
Oh, this is least but not last. We're talking about the least weasel. I needed to get that in there. The least weasel is one that I'm obviously very keen on, and that's it's the world's smallest carnivore, absolutely tiny, and they generally weigh about 1 ounce or 25 grams. That's how small they are, and it's so cute. It's so adorable, and I just think everyone's gonna love it because it's just amazing and one of the best cards in the game.
It does imply the existence of a most weasel.
But they didn't have most. They have great animals and they have lots of least animals, which I think is kind of kind of offensive if you're small.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I thought so, but it's just so cute. It's amazing. It's one of the best cards in the game. Everyone's going to love it.
You in particular have been very excited about our little critters collection.
Yes, I am determined to get more tiny animals in the game. There's not enough tiny animals.
Why don't you tell us about another card in that collection, the Bee Hummingbird?
It's the tiniest animal, which I'm so happy about, because if you watched a video a few weeks ago, you know how desperate I've been to get a Bee Hummingbird in the game because they're so minute and so cute. So they can grow up to like 61 millimeters long, I think. And they have the second fastest heartbeats in the world after me when I'm looking at a cute little Bee Hummingbird. And that's one for your tiny deck. So if you've got in your deck any cards with the base energy of 1 or less, get an extra 5+ power till play, because it's just a common. But awesome card, cutest thing, amazing week for tiny cute animals. I'm so happy.
About the size of a thumbnail. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's literally, well, no, 60 mil, so it's about the size of about my thumb.
Yeah,
it's
okay,
literally,
so, yeah, more like
it's still tiny, Dan. Don't give it credit. It's minute.
Okay.
A bee is the size of a thumbnail.
Yeah, those are some fantastic additions to the collection for Big Small Week. But I want to tell you about something big, something very big.
Big and scary.
The Tarantula Nebula.
It's like the opposite of the Bee Hummingbird.
It's pretty cool. How many Bee Hummingbirds can you fit in a Tarantula Nebula, do you reckon?
Comments down below.
Absolutely huge, this nebula. Constellation in the Dorado Nebula. It has an apparent magnitude of 8. And to give you an idea of how absolutely huge that is, there is the Orion Nebula, which is in the Milky Way galaxy, and it's relatively speaking not far away from Earth. The Tarantula Nebula is further out from Earth than the Orion Nebula is, but if it was the same distance away from Earth, the Tarantula Nebula would actually cast shadows on Earth.
My gosh!
And goodness knows what's actually lighting that nebula up to cause those shadows, but it would be
That's humongous.
It's
outrageously big.
Vast.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Dan.
No worries. And in Q, the Tarantula Nebula will be an 880 when you play it, and if your deck happens to contain 5 bugs cards, it will gain 100 power, so it'll become an 180, which is good for 22.5 power per energy.
Awesome. Bring bugs into the meta.
Yeah, get your bugs together, put them into space. I don't think there's much overlap between space and life on land at the moment, but I would like there to be more, and this would be a good card in that kind of deck. Yeah,
that sounds perfect, Dan. Good theme linking.
Thank you very much, and it's been a fantastic themed week.
It's another fantastic themed week with you. Thank you very much, Dan. I hope you have a good day.
No worries.
And I hope
Follow
everyone
us
has
on
a
all
good
the socials. Keep it Q. Hit my mark.
Keep it Q.
Boom. Bye-bye.
We did our best. So cute. It's so adorable.